Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, maybe for some of you as well. My name is Dean Clayton, and welcome to the May 25th SMAX user group session. On today's show, we've got some very special guests who are going to do a little bit of a spotlight on their studio app that they've done, but we'll get to that in a minute. So let's do the usual get started. Okay, so as always, these are our live bi-weekly SMAX technical practitioner sessions. So you can obviously go to the TonyCC SMAX UG topic to see the calendar of topics and any of the recordings. So if you missed any of the previous sessions, you can go there and watch them. And of course, obviously, we split them out into 3 different types, be that our deep dives into certain capabilities or best practices and demos. And then obviously we have our release readiness sessions. And some of you obviously will be aware that we did our release readiness for the 2022-05 release a few weeks ago. We also have our office hour session as well, where we give you the opportunity to ask your questions and put us on the spot, and hopefully we can answer it. Obviously, feel free to share if you're listening to the recording of this. You can also go to the registration page, tony.cc/SMAXUG, to make sure you get the registration and get it into your calendar. Okay, for those, we also obviously have the audio options. So most people, I think, use the computer audio, but if you need to, you can also dial in on the telephone number using the toll-free numbers that are available through GoToWebinar. Okay, so our agenda for today, I'm just going to do a little mini update on our latest patch releases. We're then going to hand over to S&G Consulting, allow them to give a little bit of talk about themselves and what they've done as part of SMAXtember last year. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of a demo. I know that we may be having to drop 2 slides, but we'll see how that goes. If you have any questions or obviously anything that they present, feel free to post them in the question option within GoToWebinar, and we'll obviously ask them on your behalf. And depending on how we are on time, we may put open the lines up for people to talk, and then we'll do sort of a usual wrap up, but then we'll end on a little announcement. And anyone who knows me, that might be an interesting and scary situation to occur. Okay, so first things and important things to note. Our latest patch releases that are now out. So we always show you the previous 2 releases that are available where we do patches. Sometimes we do patches for older versions, but we only like to keep you informed on the latest. Obviously, with 2022-05 now out, likely the next time we do a patch update, we'll be mentioning that, and we'll be dropping any mentions of the 2021-08 release patches. So for 2021.11, we are now on patch 5. There's 8 fixes for SMAX customers. There's no implications for mixed mode customers with those fixes, but please be aware of the additional steps that are required in relation to the fixes issued in previous patches. And obviously this also includes Log4j version 2.17.1. Similarly, with our patch for 2021.08, which is now patch 7, there's 22 fixes with that one, and again, it's updated to the latest version of Log4j. And in regards to Micro Focus official response and security bulletin relating to the Apache Log4j vulnerability, we have our specific CVEs, which you can go and access either through our support site or clicking the link, which will be available through the presentation and what we have in our community pages. Okay, so with that, I am going to stop presenting at this point, and hopefully I'm going to have our good colleagues Martin and Milan on the line. Martin, Milan, are you there? I'll just change the presenter to yourselves. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'll try to make myself a presenter, or if you can help me a bit, please.
That's it. I will change across to you now. So hopefully that should be Switching to you, True Martin.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Then, hello everyone, my name is Martin. We'd like to present to you our SMAX custom application, SMAX bug tracking. In the first part, we have a presentation for let's say brief introduction, which will my colleague Milan present, and then hopefully we'll show you a demo, or at least the let's say backup print screens which we have prepared. So Milan, if you can hear me, I'll pass the speech to you.
Okay, thank you, Martin, for the introduction. You can move to the next slide, and we will go through the first part of our presentation before I will move it back to you for the live demo. I hope our environment will be back and ready. So the presentation will be really short. I will try to be really brief. We will introduce our company a little bit, and the two of us who participated in the SMAXtember challenge last year. I will describe why we focus just to the bug tracking feature and why in the SMAXtember challenge event, how we perceived it, and what was the main reason, and then describe the main features and structure and parts of this solution and how is it connected together before Martin will be able to show it in the demo. Okay, our company founded 11 years ago in Prague, Czech Republic. We are one of the two Micro Focus ITOM gold partners in Czech Republic. We are a team about of about 20 people in the three main areas of competencies. When I'm responsible for the ITSM, asset management, partly discovery and inventory part, and then we have some teams related to the network and applications performance monitoring, some data applications, and so on. So this is about our company, and now something about two of us, Milan and Martin. I'm mainly ITSM solution architect in our company with some experience related to HPE software Micro Focus products since 2005. So I began with service desks and service center, service manager, and SMAX now. For this SMAXtember challenge, I was in the role of some functional architect, defined some requirements, workflow definitions, and so on. And Martin was the main technical guy who configured everything and gave me some technical feedback to the things I designed and to my requirements. So we solved it together, and now we can show you our results and how it looks and is available on the marketplace. So when we discussed what we will do for the SMAXtember challenge, we discussed maybe 3 or 4 topics we had in our mind, something about COVID-related topics, what to do in SMAX, or some parking reservation system, and so on. But finally, we decided to solve one of our issues we had on our project. We delivered for one of our customer who is using Service Manager and SMAX now, and he is trying to move some features from SM to SMAX continuously. And we faced the situation that they didn't provide us any tool where we can store and manage some bugs from testing, some requirements, questions, and so on. So we were thinking, okay, let's do something easy, simple in SMAX and use it for our purposes rather than emails and shared Excel sheets. Why SMAXtember? Firstly, we wanted to know how we stand with SMAX capabilities compared to other SMAXtember participants. It was one the reason. Second reason, SMAXtember challenge is event. We were able to book our time for this learning and spend the time with SMAX, gathering information from the microfocus colleagues and trying to build ourselves something new, and possibility to consult our questions with microfocus peers during our tries and the development and so on. So it was some timely defined event when we had to design, develop, and finish something. It was positive for us because really we were able to finish everything in 1 month. Initially, we expected that we will deliver something really simple, only one entity with some simple form and just 3 phases and maybe some catalog offering. But when we discussed about it more and more and added our requirements, we prepared much more complex solution that was positively perceived also from our customer, and we were able to use it. And then now I think it's usable also for another applications, and therefore we published also to the marketplace for you. So this is a story about it and why we did it during SMAXtember. Next slide, please. So in SMAX, we have one new custom application. We placed it in build section, and it's mainly to store the bugs and requirements and questions related to the SMAX releases of new features or SMAX upgrades. Finally, we extended also in the configuration to be able to use it also for another applications. Now we are using for SMAX related projects and releases, and also service manager, because customer is still using both of them and continue in this migration from one tool to another. Next slide. So in this application, we have 2 entities. One is bugs. This is place when we store the records of 3 types: bugs, requests, and questions. But this is something that is configurable. These 3 were enough for us. And second is supporting entity settings, when we can configure some categorization for the applications, and also define projects via projects for the bugs to be related to. Something like, okay, we are preparing some releases or upgrades. This customer, we built it for, builds and deploys the SMAX features or a service manager features in regular releases. So we have regular monthly releases with new functionalities or some updates, and then in parallel regular SMAX technical upgrades with individual versions. So every monthly release or SMAX upgrade is the project for our SMAX, and we are able to link our bugs, requests, or questions to these projects and manage it through its life cycle. Next slide, please. This is the structure, how it is linked together. Firstly, we have a list of applications. For us, it's SMAX and Service Manager now. Here, SMAX. After this application, we have linked the bug settings categories. Where is the bug identified, if it's service portal, service catalog offerings, business rules, integrations, notifications, localization, and similar thing. And second part is project, functional releases or upgrades. Every project is also Every project also defines the related functional groups for coordinators, developers, and testers. I will describe these three roles and groups on the picture with the workflow where it will provide more information and why we configure just these three, because it also comes from the requirement or the behavior of the customer environment. So when we linked it together, we see that we have always the bug record linked to the application, project, category with predefined groups who will participate on its solution. Okay, next slide. So this is the workflow we finally configured. It's split it to the four main metaphases. Each metaphase is it has its own purpose. First one, classification. This is phase when tester identify and record the bug. In our environment or the environment of our customer, there is specific delivery model for service manager and SMAX when testers are internal customer people. Coordinator, it's mainly my role as architect for service manager and SMAX, and I drive also these projects. And the developers or operations people are mainly outsourced from another external company. So therefore three roles: tester, coordinator, and developer. So when internal tester identifies the bug, record it to the SMAX in relation to the SMAX application and the project. It comes to me as coordinator. I classify it and say, okay, this is something relevant to this functional release or upgrade, and move it to the development metaphase, to the queue for the developer. Or I say, okay, this is not something relevant, but it's good idea. I will suspend it and we will come back to it with the product owner later, or decide what to do with it. Or I directly cancel it, that is some duplicity, or it's not relevant to the release, or some mismatch in this bug. When this bug is in development metaphase in ready for dev phase, this is the backlog of bugs for the development team, the functional group for developers related to this application and project. And they take it from this phase, and once they are starting working on this bug, move it to in development phase. From this phase, they can suspend it back to classification if we decide to do together that there is some problem, or there is not enough capacity, or they can solve it with vendor support, because some bugs we are solving together with Micro Focus software support. Or what is the main path when it's repaired, or there is some provided hotfix, he moves it to dev test phase, what means some internal development testing in the development team, prepare some release notes, and move it to ready for release phase in development meta phase. This phase means, okay, bug is repaired, it's confirmed from development team, and is ready to be deployed to SIT environment. What I forgot in the beginning, that we are working in 3 instances of service of SMAX: production, testing, and development. So developer is working in development instance. He prepares repair, deployment steps, and says, okay, it's done. Then coordinator decide that okay, we have some repairs in ready for release phase, and say this date we will deploy these hotfixes or bug repairs to SIT environment. move this bug to ready for testing phase in testing meta phase, and this is backlog of tasks for our testing group. Again, testers knows, okay, I will log into test environment, take these repaired bugs from ready for testing phase, move it to in test, and perform and document the tests performed. Once the repair is successfully tested, tester moves it to test confirmed phase. If there is any issue, he moves it back to the in development phase, and the cycle is running again. Test confirm phase is again the list of bugs that are repaired, successfully tested, release notes are confirmed, and we can move it to the operational team to deploy it to production in our maintenance windows or regular deployment releases we have every month. Once it's deployed to production, coordinator closed this bug, and the lifecycle is done. We didn't simulate here some release management or change management. There is this one simple step at the end because it wasn't the main purpose for this entity. Okay, this will be mainly a slide for Martin because one of the experience he gathered during this SMAXtember challenge was how to prepare and publish our custom application to the item marketplace portal, what was really new experience for us. So stage is yours, Martin.
Okay, thank you very much. If you can still hear me. As Milan already mentioned, this custom application is available for you at item marketplace. Inside the inside the package, there are only the configurations for the entities inside the application itself. So due to the fact that this package to be applicable for or applicable to all SMAX environments, doesn't matter the configurations in other modules. There are just the configurations for these two entities, bugs and bug settings. Due to these facts, there is necessity, which is or necessity to do some post-installation manual tasks, which are or who are described in the documentation, especially to configure the proper roles for bug tracking if necessary, or if it should be available to all of the users. That's absolutely up to you. Modification of some, let's say, out of the box, not out of the box, but prepared notifications we put into the package. There's also possibility to configure view and sorting options for defined attributes which are in this module, and also if it's necessary to prepare some dashboards and reports. As Milan also mentioned throughout the presentation, there is a possibility to extend this module or its usage. For the demo, we have only the SMAX and Service Manager as an application, but it's built just as a list, so it's absolutely free to extend it to whatever application necessary. So you can add there your application for which you would like to track down your bugs and solve them through the prepared workflow. There's also a possibility, which is briefly described in documentation, to extend the bugs or to link them with the change and the release management. Okay, now the demo itself. Let me please just stop sharing my screen for a minute. I'll check if I'm able to show you the demo itself, or if we have to use the backup slide. So Just give me a minute to check it.
Martin, while you're doing that, I'll answer one of the questions that came through. So one of the questions, I'll take it while you're doing that, because it's one that I know the answer to. So one of the questions we had was about backwards compatibility and with the app that's on the marketplace, and whether it's compatible with existing versions that are out there. So does it work with 2021.11 and 2021.08? Yes, it should. There should be any problems with that at all. One of the things that we've always tried to do with the way that we do the packages for the marketplace is typically they're normally suitable for some of the earlier versions, and should always be forward compatible as well anyway. So typically with a lot of the studio apps, because of the way and what we include as part of the packages, there shouldn't be any compatibility problems. So everyone can download that app that hopefully be able to demo in a moment, and have a play with it yourselves and see how really good it is. Okay. Any luck with the live demo?
Trying to connect there. Give me please one more minute, and if it won't work, I'll get back to the backup slides.
Okay, not a problem at all.
Maybe if there is any other question related to the backtracking we introduced, or maybe the SMAXtember participation from the last year for something we remember, because it's almost really a long time from this event.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a couple of other questions, but if anyone else has any other questions, post them. One of the questions that I have here, and I guess it kind of relates to a little bit of that, was the original build of the app and the time that you did during obviously during SMAXtember. Do you have a rough idea on how long it sort of took you to build for? Not so much about the packaging, but should we say the you know, building out the app and the original first version? Did it take many hours, or was it quite quick? Or any insight into that would be great.
Okay, I think that the configuration itself wasn't the most time-consuming part. The most hours and time we spent with the design questions and requirements, and once Martin started with the configuration in SMAX, and we saw how fastly he moves forward, we added additional requirements for him and tune it. This whole life cycle took us maybe 1 month after our regular working hours, because we perform this on top of our standard business, and listening the SMAXtember events we were focused in on, and preparing this application. So from my perspective, it took us less effort than I expected.
That's good. That's good to hear. And I think that's always the common thing with building out. I found with building studio apps is the initial idea, you can normally get that up quite quickly, but then you suddenly want to iterate, and you come up with more and more features that you want to add and to keep going. So okay, all right, good. It looks like we've got a demo. Is that right? Are we all right there, yeah. Martin? Yeah.
It's working fine.
Okay, I'll hand it back to you then to do the demo.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just a brief intro to the demo itself. For the use case, it's just a simple demonstration of the tester discovering some bug, or let's say the error, which is not how it was designed. Coordinator will create the bug, which will be assigned to the developer to fix it, then pass it back to tester to test the fix itself. And after the confirmation, the bug will be ready for deployment and eventually closed by coordinator. extended demo could be, or we'll have time spent to show you that there are 2 custom actions in the bug entity from which you can create a related knowledge article or related problem record. Here's just a description of how the demo will be proceeded. There's a user called or named as my colleague Milan, which will be the coordinator and the tester in one person. So two roles for Milan, and user presenting me will be there as a developer. So if you can see the SMAX now. Okay, give me a second. One more thing to be here. So here I'm connected as a Milan. So let's say right now I'm the tester and coordinator in this demo, and I'll open just one of the offerings to give it a second to load it, hopefully, to check that there's a user options attribute in one of the offerings, which was supposed to be mandatory, but it's not. So sorry, there's an issue with connection, but hopefully now it should be fine. So here you can see that there's a user option select PC, which let's say was supposed to be mandatory, but it's not. So me as a coordinator, I'll just take the name of the offering, move myself to the agent interface, where I'll open the backtracking application. Here, as you can see, there are just some sample bugs already prepared, and I'll create a new one where I will give it some name under user option. For this offering. Here I need to select the application, so I'll select it's for SMAX. The project, let's say, is a functional release Q1. Category prepared, which we have in the bug settings. I can show it later. It's referring to the service catalog. It's a bug because it's not how it's supposed to be. Let's say give it a medium priority and some description. Now we can save and edit a new bug. Okay, now we are in the full detail. Here you can see are the two prepared custom action buttons, which I'll talk about them a bit later. Here, me as a Milan Carbon, I'm checked down here as a requester. Here are all of the main classifications fields which I have already filled. And right now, let's say the bug is classified by me, Milan Carbon, as a coordinator, and I'll pass it that it's ready for development and save this change. Now I'll switch to the other window, where you can see I'm logged in as me as a Martin as a SMAX developer. I'll go to the bug tracking, and I'll take a look which of the bugs are are in the phase ready for development. I can see that there is one bug which is waiting there to be assigned to some of the developer. So I'll open the full detail, and I'll see that the main classification, or I'll see all the information already put in there. And here I can select the developer. There's a configuration that it shows just the members of the defined SMAX developers or developers group functional group and SMAX for the project we have selected. So there are just a three sample person. One of them it's me, so I'll assign this this ticket to me, or this bug, sorry, and I'll put it to in development phase. Okay, then I will open the service catalog to find the proper offering, which was mentioned in the back. And in the user options fields, I'll see, oh, I forget to configure that this field should be required. So I'll make this fixed and save the changes. Now, let's say it would be more complex bug or more complex issue to solve. I'll do some more detailed configuration, and then I'll be able to pass the bug record to the development testing just to check that what I configured there is working. That could be done by myself, or there could be an defined architect, or just another member of my team which will be responsible for or which will be responsible to do this development testing. So I'll just pass it. Sorry, one mistake. There is also the necessity for developer to describe what he has modified. So I'll put there just
Here I will comment that this modified objects field we added because we experienced that it's useful when developer documents where we touch what he modified, and it's also useful for later for us to check that we didn't forget anything for the release notes for the later deployment to SIT or production environment.
Okay, thank you, Milan. Now when I filled it, I am able to save the changes. So here in the workflow, you can see that now, right now I'm in development testing phase. So let's say I'll check the work done by myself. So I'll go to the service portal, to the catalog, select the proper offering. I'm not sure if I have to refresh no, it's already working. And here, as you can see, the attribute is now mandatory. Okay, so I can get back to the bug record itself, and I can now say, okay, the development testing has been done, and the bug or the fix is ready for release. As Milan mentioned, the ready for release phase was supposed to move the configuration from the development tenant or the instance of SMAX to the test instance. So let's say we move the fixes to another phase, or sorry, to the test tenant, and now the record is ready for testing. Now I'll switch back to the window where the Milan as a coordinator and the tester is logged in. I'll go into the bugs, do refresh to be sure, and I'll just check which of the bugs are ready for testing, and I can see that there's one which is need to be tested. So I'll open the bug detail just to see in development what the developer has modified, and I can see that Martin, the user, Martin developer put their document what he has modified, and I'll go back to the portal to test the change. I'll open the same offering, and now I can see that the attribute or the user option field is mandatory, what was supposed to be. So I can move back to the bug record.
Here one comment, just why this check from the original tester or who discovered the bug, because we experienced also during our project delivery that sometimes when developer repaired it based on his best experience and best effort, he prepared repair. Sometimes also coordinator said, okay, it's okay. And when it was deployed to production, original user said, okay, but this is not something I expected for the solution. So here is always important to check with the original user or tester who tested it that the repair is really what he expected to receive back. Here it was easy because it was just mandatory field, but sometimes when there are some complex repairs or complex requirements, it's always important to get this feedback and confirm that we really delivered the repair for something what was expected.
Yeah, thank you. And just sorry, there was one mistake in the demo from my side. There's the define field to assign the tester for the bug, and it works similar way as the developer field does. So first, I was supposed to select the proper tester, which is one of the defined tester group, and I will select me. I mean the as a melon tester. So right now I can, let's say, move the back to the in test phase, and now I was supposed to check the changes what I've already done, so I can confirm the test. But there will be also similar thing for the tester to type there down some testing result. So let's just put there that everything is okay, just to be able to pass the bug to another phase. Okay, right now the test of the bug is confirmed, and this bug will wait for the fix will wait for the deployment into the production instance. After that, it could be closed by the coordinator of the project. One more thing to show, which is from the extended demo, are these two custom actions fields, which I mentioned at the beginning. So let's say there would be a necessity to create a knowledge article about this bug. In some cases that there's let's say some application it's not capable of doing such thing, which when it could be not a bug but a request or some question, or is it expected behavior, or there's a necessary way how to work inside the application, whatever the team decide what should be published. So I'll just press the create knowledge, which could take a bit of time right now. Oh, that was pretty fast. And here you can see that there's already knowledge info, that there is at least one linked knowledge article to this record. And here in the tab knowledge article, you can see that there has been created a new knowledge article, which is just in a classification phase, and it needs to be classified to fill up its content, and then to decide if it should be published internally in agent interface or publicly in the service portal. That's something I want to show for another bug record. So here you can see that there's already created bug, or not bug, there has been record the bug for full text search in entity link field, which is not as it has been designed. So that there's also one linked knowledge article, and when I will get back to the service portal, I can show you that there is one special category for SMAX knowledge, when there's such article published, which is referring to this behavior. So that could be kind of a user manual for end users in Service Portal or something like that. So that was the main part for demo. And just to, let's say, close up the presentation, we'd like to thank you for your time and for your attention, and also to mention that we are open and will be glad for any suggestions of improvements. If you would come up with idea how this application could be, let's say, modified and made better, we'll be more than glad to discuss it and eventually to prepare together these things and publish it as a, let's say, version number 2. So that will be it from our side, if Milan don't have any other things or comments to say.
Thank you, Martin. As you mentioned, if anybody will be willing to download the application, try it, extend it, change it, come back to us. We can merge it together and publish new version together to have some release versions for this custom application. This is not something that is just our intellectual property. It's really published to the community, and everybody can use it and extend it for others.
Thank you, Milan. Thank you, Martin. I think it's absolutely fantastic showcase of the app that you've built. It's a really good demo as well, giving you a good overview. I've got no other questions right now to ask you, but I know we're sort of getting towards the end of the session as well. So if anyone does have any questions or they reach out, feel free to reach out to Martin and Milan by their email, or feel free to reach out to us myself in Microfocus, and we'll make sure we connect. I must admit, I quite liked what you've done with the link with knowledge. I've sort of done something similar on an internal app we've been playing around with and creating, and should we say auto-generating knowledge automatically. We've even done things where we kind of in a similar way of sending out email notifications with the knowledge details. So I do like that, and doing that nice feedback loop with your end users. That's really good. So again, thank you both, and thank you both for taking part in SMAXtember last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. And one recommendation for you for the next SMAXtember event, if there will be any. It should be really nice when the winner of these individual challenges during SMAXtember would receive some diploma to be able to publish it in the office, to the wall, or some Microfocus SMAXtember challenge T-shirt or something like this. We published it internally in our company that we won such event, and we are really proud of it. But we didn't receive any diploma or something we can show in our company on the wall. Okay, we are really good SMAX guys. So this is something that can be also some positively perceived from another participants and in the upcoming event this year.
Okay, no, I think that's an absolutely fantastic idea. I must admit, it was something that we had discussed and was trying to see if there was something we could do, and it's certainly something that I'll take into account for next year. And maybe we can even do something to update those that won awards last year. Well, stay tuned on that one, Martin Milan. We'll see what we can do there. Okay, so with that, we'll come back to me. Hopefully I'm sharing my screen now. As obviously everything that related to there that was discussed was related to SMAXtember last year, SMAXtember 21. We are in the process now of finally sorting out the recordings from all the various sessions. So things like our how to build a SMAX Studio App series, that was produced by my colleague Summerjet in the product management team. The best practices sessions that was done by Brindusa. Some of the other sessions that we had as well by various different partners that, should we say, focused on specific topics. We're going to look to try and make all those public. Some of them we'll do cut down versions of, based on the fact that obviously things may have changed in the products since they were done. And we'll start to get those online soon. We'll probably do them in batches, in small groups. And what we'll do is we'll be making it visible on the community pages, and also we'll provide an update in the future SMAX user group sessions as well about when they're dropped and available. So I just wanted to highlight that as part of sharing the app that Martin and I have demoed today. So we're going to wrap up, but bear in mind I do have an announcement coming after the wrap up. No spoilers, please. So just a quick last minute mention. Obviously, the calendar appointments. You feel free to download the first one from the series, and it'll then set up as a series in your as a recurring calendar appointment to make sure you're available and get access to them. And just a little update on our schedule up and coming. So our next session in 2 weeks' time, on June the 8th. We're going to do a feature drill down on the 2022-05 release. I'm not at liberty to say exactly what that's going to be. There's a couple of different features we're looking at, and we're just making sure we have everything ready to go into that drill down on that. So we'll cover that on June the 8th. And then, because it's been a while, the following session at the end of June we'll do as an office hours. So
Dean, small correction there. Actually, it's not office hours. We'll have a drill down on the integration engine.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. So we decided to. Okay. So the one after that will probably be the office hours then. Okay. All right. Okay. That was my fault for updating the slides a little too quickly this morning. So yeah. So we'll have next two sessions will be drill downs on the 2022-05 release. And the second one on the 22nd will be on the integration engine, the XIE integration engine, and then I think we'll be doing office hours the week after that. So that is all of that. And I guess one final announcement before we close, probably the worst kept secret of the day. I am officially announcing that we are having SMAXtember 22. We did announce that we would be coming back, and that is exactly the case. We are tagging this one as From Zero to Hero. So this one is all about enablement. The S in SMAX now stands for Super, so it's SuperMax. And obviously we'll be running it as per last year on the from the 1st to the 30th of September, and we will be providing updates between now and then on some of the things that's happening. But I wanted to give a little bit of an insight in some of the things that we have got planned. Just a quick teaser to hopefully get you all excited. So we're planning to have some in-person live events. So obviously this is going to be subject to, should we say, hopefully no problems with things like COVID or anything else, or any other things that could have an effect on travel. But we're looking to potentially have some regional live events around the globe. I'm discussing with some of our Micro Focus offices about options there, or also some of our partners. But if you as a customer might be interested in hosting something, we'll be happy to discuss with you around that as well. On top of that, in terms of the overall agenda and plan for the month, obviously last year we did 2 live 30-minute sessions a day. This time we're not going to be quite as mad on those live sessions, so we're going to stick with 1 a day, but we will keep it to that 30-minute schedule to keep it nice and light and easy for you to consume. But on top of that, what we are going to be doing is we're going to have some additional content drops as well. So there'll be maybe some articles, there'll be some audio, some video content that we'll be doing as part of the event, which will be dropping should we say, on various days. And really, when we talk about it as being from zero to hero, it's really about you and your journey on with SMAX to be able to understand how the product works out of the box, and also then how to configure it for the various use cases, whether that's you're implementing it for yourself, for your company, or you're working with people to implement it and get started, and help you drive forward with that. So that's kind of the structure and the content that we'll be dropping. We'll also, of course, do our SMAX App Challenge. This is the 3rd year of our SMAX App Challenge, for those that were with us all the way back to the very beginning. We're going to do the SMAX App Challenge a little bit different this year, and we'll kind of that'll be something that we'll bring up on the SMAX user group in advance of SMAXtember. So we'll talk about that probably in one of either late June or early August sessions about what we're going to do there. But what we want to do is kind of focus it down a little bit better, and have those available so they can be showcased. Any apps that are built can be showcased during the month as well. And then, of course, we'll also have an enablement site that will have details of where you can get all the latest updates and everything. We will still be planning on having a registration site. So currently, if you go to SMAXtember.com, I believe it still goes to last year's registration site at the moment, but we'll be, should we say, closing that down or turning that offline, and then a little bit in a couple of months, we'll be in a month or so, we'll be setting up the new registration for SMAXtember. In regards to the virtual sessions, we think we found a slightly better way of handling. We listened to some of the feedback about all the various different links for so many sessions. We think we've got a better way of handling that. So we'll be doing some testing on that, and we'll share with you that when we get a bit closer. But really, part of me making the announcement today and making you all aware is really just to see if you're interested in getting involved. And this is kind of sort of for us, SMAXtember is our little mini showcase event within the SMAX community, but we would like to have some more of you engaged, helping us out, maybe either running in a live session, helping us out with some of the content that's being produced, or maybe taking part in the app challenge. We'll be happy on either of those cases. And likewise, if you are maybe interested in hosting a live event, we'd also be keen to hear from you as well. So feel free to get in touch with me. It's dean.clayton@microfocus.com. And as I said, as we go forward with the SMAX user group, we'll be keeping you informed over the next couple of months as we progress towards SMAXtember 22. So with that, I'd like to say thank you all. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll speak to you all on the next SMAX user group. Thank you.